There were a lot of mean people who picked on Caitlin Clark during the WNBA season, and the league itself seemed to ignore her. But now Caitlin Clark has done something brave that will blow your mind. WNBA numbers have been very high thanks in large part to Caitlin Clark, who is a very good player. Sad to say though, the WNBA didn't give her the credit and value she earned. That's a good number for the WNBA on Sunday. But that was 50% less than the Fever Sun contest last Sunday. Now is the time. Basketball for women is changing a lot, and Caitlin Clark is right in the middle of it all. There's more to this player than meets the eye. Caitlin Clark is a force. She broke NCAA records and has shook up the WNBA like nothing else. Now though, something even bigger is taking place. The whole world is holding their breath as Caitlin Clark steps foot on European land for the very first time. Fans, experts, and even other players are glued to their seats, eager to see how she will use her unmatched skills on this bigger stage. Talk about her first show in Europe? It's bigger than anyone thought it would be. Everyone is looking at Caitlin Clark and waiting to see how far she can go. She should be on a better group. The truth is out now. Caitlin Clark has made a deal to stay in Europe forever, so she won't be back anytime soon. This move has shocked everyone in the world of basketball. The growing basketball star Caitlin Clark is no longer just a big deal in the United States. Her fame has spread all over the world. Clark has a way of attracting fans from outside the U.S., whether it's her perfect three-pointers, jaw-dropping no-look passes, or heart-stopping buzzer beaters. She's doing more than just basketball. Fans all over the world are having experiences they will never forget. It's not just her ability to score points that makes Caitlin Clark important. She does it in a very exciting way. The time she's on the court will never be forgotten because of how fast, brave, and competitive she is. Clark is the best artist in a world that loves exciting moments, and for fans in Europe, her arrival feels like a dream come true. Barcelona Basket knew exactly what they were getting when they signed her because she is the most famous player in women's basketball. Talk about her first game wasn't just small talk. It was really exciting. Fans in Spain talked about what she'd bring to their league for weeks on end, getting excited about her coming like it was a big concert. When game day finally came, the energy was through the roof. It was crazy with fans in the stadium before she even played. Banners were waving and her name could be heard over the crowd. Clark's journey is even more important because it's not just about her playing for the people. It has to do with standing for something bigger. She has become the face of a movement that shows women's basketball players are now world stars who are breaking down barriers and taking their place on the world stage. The WNBA and NBA investors, who are actually NBA owners and investors, are not happy right now. And in fact, there is some thought that some of the money may be kept secret by the NBA, even from the owners. Something became very clear as soon as Caitlin Clark stepped onto the court in Barcelona. There will be more women playing hoops in the future than ever before. Barcelona Basket did more than just sign a player. They did something that changed the game, even though they knew Clark would have a huge effect. The choice wasn't just about getting a good player for the team. No, it was a really smart move. A well-thought-out plan to take the European Women's Basketball League to a level of success that has never been seen before. Clark really wants to change things, not just play basketball. In Europe, the men's teams were always the ones who got all the attention for years. Now though, Barcelona's women's team is ready to change things and make their own history. They know they've got something really special now that Caitlin Clark has joined them. A player who only comes around once every generation. Clark isn't just any sports star. She has the kind of skills that can make a team better in every way. It's not just adding a new player that makes things exciting. It's about the hope that Clark could take them to a whole new level and change the game for good. It took some runs from Penn State, but we always seem to have an answer, so you have to give us credit. I liked Sydney a lot. Kylie was great. He was great, I thought. When your friends get hurt, you have to step up. It's clear that Molly David isn't playing. The club's leaders didn't wait around. They moved quickly to make Caitlin Clark the face of their big new plan. She was shown everywhere on social media and on huge signs that tower over the city. But Barcelona did more than just sell seats. They were setting off a revolution. It wasn't just a game. It was about starting a revolution, taking women's basketball to new heights, and letting everyone know that something amazing was going on. Look around Times Square. This Nike sign honors the NCAA Division I player with the most points ever. The text says, "This was never a long shot. Fans rushed to get in queue." Getting excited just to see Caitlin Clark, who has become their new star. It was almost possible to feel the energy. It was clear that this wasn't just a game when Clark stepped onto the court. It was the beginning of history. And it wasn't just die-hard Barcelona fans who felt this way. Fans were glued to their screens all over Europe, from the cute streets of France to the busy markets of Turkey, waiting for her to make her debut on the European stage. The WNBA has been the best basketball league for women for a long time. But as soon as Clark set foot in Europe, something very important changed. All of a sudden, European teams were getting attention from around the world, which was something they had only thought of. All of this was possible because of one amazing talent. Oh, Curly Sue, the Sue bird. There was electricity in the air in Hungary. Fans of Sandbaz were so excited they couldn't hold it in. Also, even though they weren't up against Caitlin Clark, she had an impact on a lot more than just the game. There were a lot of memes, posts, and videos on social media celebrating her big berth. People talked a lot about how important it was for the European League to have such a famous player. Women's basketball, which had been less important in the past, was quickly becoming the big event, and people all over the world were paying attention. In Turkey, Fenerbahçe fans, who are known for being very loyal, were just as interested. They were very interested in Clark's launch even though they couldn't be there in person. The air was filled with heated arguments about the future of women's basketball in Europe. Fenerbahçe's management was already thinking of ways to get someone like Clark to play for them in the future. Clark didn't just have an effect on one court or one country, he really got people all over Europe excited about the game. An important question hung in the air during her first game in Europe. Will Caitlin Clark live up to the huge standards that have been put on her? We don't trust her as a normal player. She's changing what it means to be the best woman in basketball. Pick Caitlin Clark from the University of Iowa. Caitlin Clark did some amazing things while she was at Iowa and during her short time in the WNBA. Now though, the European League is a new and tough task. This game is different. The new challenges are the rules, the rough way of playing, and the weight of what people expect from you. However, Clark really does enjoy being under a lot of stress. She takes it on, not just deals with it. It's amazing how sure she is on the court. She plays without fear, which makes her opponents scramble, whether she's making deep three-pointers or sliding through defenders. The defense did everything they could to stop her in her first match in Europe. At the same time, it was clear that Clark had a job to do. She couldn't be stopped. That being said, Caitlin Clark is a lot more than just a basketball star. She's about to send a shockwave through Europe's economies. Clark is more than just a player now that ticket sales are through the roof and her stuff is in high demand. She has a name. Fans are lining up outside of stores to buy her outfits and people are lining up like crazy to get to her games. She's not just there for the sport, she's starting a cause. 6:49 p.m. Your time now. North Texas is going to feel like Caitlin Clark did. There are only hours left to buy tickets to see the college basketball legend play her first game. There is no denying that Caitlin Clark's arrival in Barcelona has had an effect. It has been nothing short of amazing how Barcelona Basket Femení has changed. Season ticket sales have gone up in more ways than one. They've grown by 2. Their number of fans on social media has grown at a rate that the club has never seen before. Local businesses like hotels and eateries are making a lot of money because game days bring in more people than ever before. Clark has changed the way basketball is played in Barcelona, and this is just the start of an economic boom. But Barcelona isn't the only magical place. European women's basketball is being affected by her impact. Teams are getting better at marketing and getting bigger sponsors, which is helping the sport come back to life. Clark has given the league a lot of new attention, and it's becoming clearer every day that this is good for business. In Europe, people are happy that Clark has arrived, but the WNBA is in a mess. It's not a small mistake to lose a guy like Clark, it's a huge setback. People saw her as the future of the WNBA. The thing that would lead them to a new, better time. But now that she's gone, the league is trying to figure out how to get back on track. Another great basketball year for Clark came to an end last night. Fans are very worried and they have good reason to be. Since Caitlin Clark left the WNBA, there have been a lot of heated debates about the league's future. A lot of them think they missed a great chance by letting her go, and they're upset about what will happen next. Spectators have been slowly going down, and without Clark's star power to bring them in, more and more fans might turn their backs on the league, as if that wasn't bad enough already. The WNBA has to deal with tough competition from the European leagues, which makes Clark's leaving feel like the final blow to an already struggling group. Is this really the turning point? Fans don't know what to do. What's wrong with the WNBA? What is wrong with fairness, diversity, and including everyone? What's wrong with this plan for the race? I told people she was going to be the biggest sports star after what she did as a senior at Iowa. Still, things aren't completely lost. A lot of very good players are still in the WNBA, and some of them could lead the league into a new era. Some people are hopeful that they can make a comeback. In spite of this, one fact stands out. Caitlin Clark's death has made us pay attention. It's a very important lesson for the WNBA that they need to make sure their best players don't go abroad to find work. Everyone is wondering what will happen next as Clark shines in Europe. Will she go back to the WNBA and try to build her reputation there again, or will she keep building her empire abroad? Clark is enjoying her time in Europe right now, but the future is still very much open. Fans all over the world can't wait to see what she does next. I know what I want. The number of times we talked about it was kind of too much, but it's a big choice, so you don't want to mess it up. One of my favorite things about Iowa was that it let me do something unique that had never been done before. That seemed really important to me. Caitlin Clark always brings excitement and electric energy with her, no matter where she goes. She has made a huge difference in the game, whether she's lighting up stages in Europe, the WNBA, or anywhere else in the world. In the world of basketball, Clark's impact is permanent and can't be ignored by fans. That's all for today. Please like this video and don't forget to follow if you liked it. Thanks for seeing.